everybody. Happy Tuesday. We are finally ready to work together in our packet. So I want to go ahead and I want to go over what the packet kind of looks like. And I did this last week, but I just want to make sure you guys all understand how we're pacing this because we're trying to keep it as most efficient and easy for you as possible. So you can stick this schedule up on your refrigerator, you can put it in your bedroom, put it wherever. You won't lose it because we're going to follow this for every single day that it's given. So last week we finished day 1 through day 4, and I know several packets weren't there, so a lot of you did it in your notebook. You are not expected to go back and finish this. I know that you guys did the best that you could with what you were given, so we are going to start fresh and clean on day 5, which is today, Tuesday, May 12th. So if you see it, it gives you every single thing what we're doing. So if you miss a day for some reason, if you're feeling sick, you know what you need to do to get caught up on something. So we're going to start on iReady Reading, Section 1, Lesson 5, and then the iReady Writing and Language, Entry 3, Part 1, okay? So we're going to start with this at first, and it kind of gives you a good scope and sequence about where we're headed and how we're going to be finishing. So this is our day for today. So let's go ahead and let's look at our iReady Reading, Section 1, Lesson 5, and I have it all ready on mine, but I want to go ahead and show you how we find this. So here's the cover of it, okay? And you know what lesson and what section you're in because it tells you. I know it says lesson, it's section 5 or lesson 5, and it gives you this right here, okay? And it tells you even the pages that you're on, pages 18 through 19. So I'm just making sure section 1, this is the first section that we're in, lesson 5. So let's go ahead and let's flip to pages 18 through 19. I'm turning my screen. You can flip in your paper. This is all the stuff that we worked on last week, and here we go. I'm checking pages 18 through 19. Now, this lesson is a continuation on what we've been doing earlier last week. We've been talking about the sequence of the story, how important it is when an author is telling a story to understand the sequence or the transition words. First, next, then, last, finally. And when we're reading nonfiction text, especially expository text with text features, and look what this genre is today. It's a biography, which means it's about a real person. We need to make sure that we are noticed and we're noting when certain things are happening. That's going to help us understand the story that much better. And as we answer the questions, we're going to know right where to go. So this story is called William Becknell and the Santa Fe Trail. And you can see they have paragraph markers for you. It's 5 paragraphs long. And then you have a couple questions that you're going to be doing. And the talking, you can talk with someone at home about this. The short response you don't have to worry about because we'll be doing the next piece tomorrow. But you have 2 questions you're going to be thinking about after we get done reading the story. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this together and jump into it. All right, William Becknell and the Santa Fe Trail by Joy Adams. Paragraph 1. William Becknell was a trader and a trapper. He was born in Virginia in the late 1700s. As a young man, Becknell moved to Missouri in 1810. So right away we have some dates you're noticing. In Missouri, Becknell traded salt. His business wasn't very successful. So in the summer of 1821, he planned a trip west. Traveling on horseback, Becknell and his group hoped to trade horses and mules and trap animals. When the party started their trip, Spain owned New Mexico. The Spanish didn't allow traders from the United States to sell their goods there. As the party made its way, however, the Spanish lost control of New Mexico. Becknell heard this news and changed his plans. He headed straight to Santa Fe. There they traded their goods for silver dollars. About a year later, in May 1822, Becknell and his wagons left Missouri once again. This time, Becknell followed a dangerous route. First, he followed the Arkansas River to what is today Dodge City, Kansas. Then he traveled southwest to the Cimarron River. The party ran out of water and almost died, but Becknell pushed them onto the river. Finally, they reached Santa Fe. They had blazed a new trail. So look, they almost ran out of water. That was a big, ooh, wow. And last paragraph. Becknell's route became known as the Santa Fe Trail. In 1825, it was marked as the main route to the southwest. This route was important to the growth of the United States. So something important, whenever we see a map, a text feature, we cannot skip it. So I'm going to now look at this map and first of all, see if I can understand Becknell's journey a little bit better. So first of all, here's Indiana. That's where we're from. And it talked about Missouri a lot. You see Missouri right here? And look, I have a little marker here. Missouri River, Santa Fe Trail, Arkansas River. Look, Omarion River. I can see Santa Fe right there, Santa Fe. And here's the Santa Fe Trail. And look, here's a mountain route that looks like he took. So this is important so that we can see how far and where they traveled. And also it says, what route did Becknell follow on his second trip to Santa Fe? Number the places where he stopped. The number should show the order in which he reached them. So this is going to be a good strategy for us to practice as we're thinking about the sequence of the story and when things are happening. So let's go ahead and let's make some notes about what happened first, next, then, and last. All right, so I kind of went back to reread this to make sure that I didn't miss any sequencing. So at the beginning, in the summer of 1821, he planned a trip west. He headed straight to Santa Fe. So if you notice, he planned his trip and headed straight to Santa Fe. That was his first trip. And remember, in this question, we're paying attention to his second trip. And here we go. About a year later, in May of 1821, 1822, Becknell and his wagons left Missouri once again. That means for the second time. First, look at that sequence word. First, he followed the Arkansas River to what is Dodge City, Kansas. Do you see that in the map? And I can even look up here. Do you see where the Arkansas River? Then, look at that second transition word. He traveled southwest to the Cimarron River. Do you see the Cimarron River? Sure do, right there. And then third, finally they reached Santa Fe. They had blazed a new trail. Now they almost died. I didn't highlight that. That's just another detail. But those are the big three things that happened. First, second, third. So you can number those things inside of your packet right now. Now, for our questions today, we're going to look at part A and then part B. What important event happened soon after Becknell set off on his trip to the west? So what things happened after Becknell set off on his trip to the west? So we're going to have to really look, when did Becknell set off on his trip to the west? And it might be his first trip. So we're going to have to pay attention to some of our choices. Let's look at the choices. Becknell decided to trade horses instead of salt. Traders were told they couldn't go to Santa Fe. The Spanish lost power in New Mexico, or Becknell's group ran out of water and almost died. Okay, what happened? Look what it says. What important event happened soon after Becknell set off on his trip to the west? So let's go back to the text and let's see if we can find what happened soon after he left for his trip out west. Okay, so this is where you need to really make sure that you're seeing what is happening. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to go back and look. All right, so when he headed out west, should have really captured your attention. What happened pretty soon after that? So I'm going to reread this. Traveling on horseback, Becknell and his group hoped to trade horses and mules and trap animals. When the party started their trip, Spain owned New Mexico. The Spanish didn't allow traders from the United States to sell their goods there. As the party made its way, however, the Spanish lost control of New Mexico. Becknell heard the news and changed his plans. All right, so the best choice that you should have picked here, what kind of happened soon after he set off? This is very important. The Spanish lost their power in New Mexico, right? Because that changed the entire plan. So when the Spanish lost their power in New Mexico, which is right here, if you can see that, the Spanish lost control in New Mexico. I'll change that so you can really see that. Now, underline a sentence in this paragraph that supports your choice in part A. So which sentence supports that the Spanish lost their power in New Mexico, or their control or their power? And there's literally a couple sentences here that support this answer here. So I want you guys to do that on your own. 2, discuss with the partner Becknell's second trip to Santa Fe. Can you go ahead and highlight those sequence words that we've already done? If you haven't done that, make sure you do that. And then the short response, you do not have to worry about doing that. So I'm going to cross that out, okay? You can cross that out on yours as well. And that is what we have for our reading today. Tomorrow, we'll do the response. So don't go on, and we'll do that tomorrow. Now, if I go back to my parent letter, we are also ready for our writing. Now, in your writing, just like the parent letter said, entry 3, part 1. So this is going to be, if you go to your table of contents, you can see where it says entry 3, part 1, page 13. So everyone, let's flip to page 13. Let's make sure we're there, and here we are. And it's a journal today. We have a daily journal. So here we go. Your gym teacher posts workouts for you on Facebook. Write a post to your teacher to convince him to have a water fight as part of a workout. Be sure to include ways that you and the other students will be responsible while doing this. So you need to do a persuasive essay to convince, let's pretend Mr. Pachars, or you could convince Miss Herdman, because she also sounds like something fun for ABL, right? How can you convince Mr. Pachars or Miss Herdman to have a water fight as part of the workout? Now, very, very important here. Once you convince them, you also have to include ways that you will be responsible. So how will you be safe while doing this? I can't wait to see what you guys write. Remember, pick a teacher to convince. See if you can convince Miss Herdman or Mr. Pachars why you should have a water fight as part of your workout. What kinds of things does that help you do? Because I know Miss Herdman and Mr. Pachars always want to make sure you're staying physically fit. Maybe it could work on your throwing. Maybe it could work on your good ability to dodge things, right? I know Miss Herdman kind of calls it those quick skills where you're thinking quick and you're able to move and adjust and make changes. It could work on your running skills. Talk about everything that you could convince them to let you work out. Okay, and also don't forget to talk about how you can be responsible, because you also want to be safe. You don't want anyone to get hurt. How will you keep the rest of your classmates safe? All right, everybody, that's it for reading today and for writing. You guys are awesome. Remember, it's just a little bit each day. Once you finish this, take a picture, send it my way, and cross it out on your calendar. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.